Hello there. Today I'm tasting a Chardonnay from Domaine du Pelican in Arbois, in the Jura, in subalpine eastern France. This is a 2021 Chardonnay. Domaine du Pelican, as I've said in other videos, created in 2012 when Guillaume d'Angeville, owner of Marquis d'Angeville, famous estate in Burgundy, and his regisseur Francois Duvivier purchased 10 hectares of vines in Arbois and around Arbois, in the village of Montigny-les-Arceurs. Today, Duvivier is based permanently in Arbois, runs the team there. They've expanded their holdings to 15 hectares by taking on some vines that had belonged to retiring legendary winemaker from the region, Jacques Buffny. The estate is entirely managed biodynamically, organically and biodynamically, and the quality of the wines has gained the estate an excellent reputation in a very short space of time. The project started as a result of a sort of a Damascene moment when Guillaume d'Angeville tasted an Arbois Chardonnay from Stéphane Tissot, his 2005 vintage, served blind to him at top Paris restaurant Taillevent. D'Angeville was so impressed that over the next couple of years he visited Jura a number of times, tasting and looking for estates to buy. And eventually he even engaged the services of a local geologist, Yves Hérode, to find estates for him with the right altitudes, exposures, soil types to produce quality wine. And thus they settled on some really top vineyards. So we have this confluence of really good vineyards and top quality winemaking in Domaine du Pelican. All the vineyards handily are within 2 kilometres of each other. So the small area allows the team to be very quality conscious in their working. It doesn't restrict them in terms of operations being too difficult because of time. This particular cuvee has been made since 2012, and it is a combination of parcels from different sites. Hilltop sites, normally some of the highest sites in the estate, at about 400 metres above sea level, a lot of them. The soils are dark Jurassic marls. As I say, the estate is farmed biodynamically. As far as picking is concerned, that's all done by hand. In the winery, the fruit is very lightly crushed, it's pressed quickly into barrel and ferments in a mixture of barrel and foudre. For aging, 30% of the wine is put into 350 to 500 litre barrels. About 5% of those barrels are new. The balance ages in foudre and in tank. So let's have a look at the wine and see what we think of it, shall we? So first of all, we've got a bright, medium, I would say fairly sort of lemony yellow. It's quite vibrant sort of colour. Swirling it, we're not particularly getting tears forming on the glass. It's only 12.5% alcohol and it's a dry wine, so you wouldn't expect too many. The aromas are really quite a vivid combination of citric, lemony fresh fruit and creamy leesy notes. And behind the leesy notes, there's a sort of there are stony notes, there are fermentation aromas, that sort of hint of gunpowder that you can perhaps get on the nose as a result of the yeast action. So let's have a taste, shall we? On the palate, it's medium, maybe medium to light actually. There's some really quite fresh acidity that cuts through, but only after the sort of the rounded, rich fruit has imposed itself on the palate to begin with. So there's a creamy, leesy richness that's followed up by sort of lemony notes and also perhaps a sort of a slight peachiness, not full-blown, rich, ripe peach, but a more restrained peachy note. At the end, there are those sort of whetstone, gravel notes that are coming from the fermentation aromas. I'm not making that sound present, but actually they're adding some complexity to the wine, and the fact that there's such good acidity is leaving my mouth watering. There's lemony notes and there's creamy notes on the finish. The alcohol at just 12% isn't particularly imposing itself on the wine. Maybe adding a little bit of roundness to the mid palate, but not a lot. 12.5 is not going to influence that enormously. But yes, so there's this lovely freshness of the lemony notes on the finish, and some sort of slightly clean, creamy notes that go alongside that, and they're enduring really very well. I think as a style of wine, you can see from this what so excited Guillaume d'Angeville about the potential for Arbois Chardonnay. This is a young wine, it's got fresh vivaciousness, it's only 12% alcohol, and yet there's a lovely concentration of fruit in there. I think this is very happily aged for 5, 6, 7 years and start to become more toasty and rich. I mean, it's not got a huge oak influence on the flavour, but it will start to gain notes that almost suggest that sort of thing, I think. And yes, this is lovely now, it's so lovely and fresh, but with a bit of time I think we'll gain some extra complexity. That sort of creaminess and roundness should fill out even more. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Domaine du Pélican's 2021 Arbois Chardonnay. If you've enjoyed the video, do please like and share it with your friends. Do please leave us your comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about either this wine or others you've tried, or about the video itself. Do sign up and follow us on YouTube. We're slowly building our follower base, and everybody joining up will help. But most importantly, I hope you'll manage to find the time to join us at another tasting sometime in the near future. Goodbye now.